Milwaukee's 14-point comeback win over Boston in Game 5, that was defined by 10 seconds of Drew Holiday's defensive heroics. It was absolutely impressive. How did the Celtics come back from this, man? I mean, their heart was just pulled out of their chest.
You're a Celtics guy, right? You tell me. I mean, I don't know. It kind of felt the same way when the Bucks dropped, the previous game, Game 4. I don't think it was quite as heartbreaking, but it felt like they controlled it. They were up, I think, double digits at the end of the third quarter, and you're starting to look ahead, and all of a sudden, what you think is a win turns into a loss, and it's really hard to come back from that. And I was worried about how Milwaukee would react in this game, and they battled back. They got the win. All of a sudden, they're back in control of the series. So it's easy, I think, to think that the momentum is just going to keep carrying on, but that really hasn't been the case in this series at all. I don't think Boston is going to come to Milwaukee and just roll over tomorrow night. I would not be surprised whatsoever if we're headed back to Boston for Game 7, which I believe would be on Sunday. But yeah, heck of a game. I mean, I had a serious amount of backtracking to do on Twitter because I just could not resist trashing Drew Holiday's shot selection the entire game. And nothing really changed there. He continued to take and miss terrible shots down the stretch, but man, those were two back-to-back insane defensive plays on Marcus Smart to end that game by Drew Holiday. So I guess you'll live with the 5 of 22 in Game 4, 9 of 24 last night if he's coming up with plays like that.
Yeah, Ryan, we've seen the Celtics win a game in Milwaukee already, so we know they can do it.
Yeah, I don't know. Drew also hit a big top-of-the-key three late in that game, too. Historically hasn't shot great, but yeah, the last 15 seconds of Drew was unreal. And for a guy that doesn't have a horse in the race, and I'm excited to hear what Matt says about this, but the one thing that came to mind was championship DNA. The Bucks handled adversity, so much adversity in that game. They withstood the runs, and they won it all last year, and that taught a lot of those players a lot about themselves, a lot about what it takes to win these types of games. I don't think a team that doesn't have a championship in the past or doesn't have movement in those big games to react the way they reacted. So hats off to the Bucks. That was unreal.
Matty, this is your team, dude. C's got sloppy and complacent there, man.
Yeah, I said a lot about Suns Warriors. Can I just sit here and cry for 30 seconds?
Yeah, go ahead. That's good TV.
Oh, man. It was just really frustrating to watch the end of that. But I think both of these teams are more than capable of winning the championship this year. And I wasn't as optimistic about this series as maybe some other people, in large part because I don't think Chris Middleton matters as much as it's been made out to be, because Giannis is a top 3 player in the NBA, and I think Drew Holiday is clearly the number 2 on this team. Without Middleton, those two have to do more, but they're certainly capable of it. So the Bucks are still a great team without Middleton. The Celtics are a great team. And the Celtics did come back from massive deficits in both Game 3 and Game 4. They didn't end up winning Game 3, but they were down double digits in the fourth quarter in both of those. So I think both of these teams have proven they're capable of bouncing back from just about anything. I mean, the Celtics bounced back from essentially being out of the playoffs at the midpoint in the year. So the Bucks, of course, have the edge right now. I think they deserve to be the favorites in the Eastern Conference, obviously deserve to be the favorites in this series with the 3-2 lead. But it's not over. It's basically going to be a coin flip Game 6, and if the Celtics are lucky enough to win that, then they'll have the edge in Game 7.